In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I would start my brand scaling career over again if I had to start from zero. Before I hit those $20, $30, $50,000 months, I wasted years in my late teens confused trying to figure out what works, and I even spent thousands of dollars on ads trying to figure things out. And it's just because I didn't know the information and the foundation that I am about to give you in this video. So first, what is brand scaling? It's very simple. You partner with a service-based business and help them grow with Facebook ads and actually get them more leads and more booked jobs. That's literally it. You're just using your marketing skills that I will teach you and actually sell them to a business for a monthly retainer. And by the time you're done with this video, you will have a clear step-by-step roadmap on how to get your first client and make your first $10,000 brand scaling. Now, phase one is outreach. This is where most beginners fail and actually give up. A lot of people just think that if they send 1 or 2 Instagram DMs, create an Instagram account with a cool marketing profile picture, you're gonna land your first client. That is absolutely not gonna happen. This is the part where you have to grind the most, but you will see the most results and it's gonna feel amazing. Clients only come in if you actually go out into the world and try to get a client. Now, these are the only 3 ways that you could possibly land a client. Any type of cold outreach, cold email, cold DM, and cold calling, which is the most efficient way, and I highly recommend to only cold call because other ways, you're just gonna waste your time. Now, your goal in these calls is not to sell. You're not gonna pitch them a $2,000 product. It's just to become friendly with them and warm them up. So whenever you actually sell to them, they're now a warm lead instead of a cold lead. And the way that you make them warm is actually by asking them questions and figuring out what they need in their business. You wanna call them and figure out some kind of problem, and then you sell to them the solution. You could call them and ask them, are you getting enough leads? Is your shop packed? Are you getting enough jobs every single week? Or half of your men you're paying, they're not actually doing anything. They're just waiting around for the next job. Be simple, be direct, and pique their curiosity. How could this person help my business? That's what they should be thinking. And my go-to opening line is, hey, this is a cold call. Do you have 23 seconds? I have something to pitch for your business. With this opening line, you're gonna get rid of all the time wasters. You're gonna take half as many calls because the people on the phone actually now know that you're pitching them something and you're not a potential job. And this is gonna get rid of 90% of time wasters that are gonna listen to you and just hang up. Now, cold calling is not easy. You are gonna suck just like I sucked when I first started. I was so trash at cold calling. I was sweating, I was nervous, I was scared to dial the phone number, but it actually isn't as hard as you think. It just takes time and practice. If you do 10, 20 calls every single day, in 30 days, I promise you, you are gonna be better than 90% of people in this industry. You're gonna learn different objections, you're gonna learn how to handle people, and if you have any door-to-door or sales experience in the past, this will be super easy for you to pick up. Now, during this cold call, your entire goal is to just get them to book a second call. You're gonna tell them about your ad services and how you can help them get more booked jobs, but you're not gonna pitch to them just yet. You're gonna tell them, hey, let's set up a meeting tomorrow if you're free, and I'll walk you through the entire system. Now, before we get into the closing part or into actually how to find these clients, let me tell you the other 2 ways of landing a client. Now, method number 2 is inbound clients. This is actually when they come to you. And the way to actually get inbound clients is literally through 2 ways. Number 1 is posting content on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube, testimonials, making videos like, hey, I made this person XYZ amount of money with our ads. And then other people in that industry, let's say you're doing car detailing, people are gonna look up how to run car detailing or ads, and they're gonna find your video, they're gonna watch it, and they'll be like, hey, this guy knows what he's doing. Let me just work with him instead of me doing it myself. This is actually how I got a lot of my clients in the clothing brand industry when I was making videos about how a clothing brand can run ads. And businesses will find you if you know what you're talking about, especially on YouTube. Now, number 3, this is the least beginner friendly way, is actually running paid ads. And I currently do this. All I do is run ads in a certain area and I guarantee a certain amount of jobs. So for example, I target the auto industry, wraps, PPF, and anything car related. And my offer is, hey, we'll get you 30 new jobs in the next 90 days or else we'll work for free until we hit that goal. People sign up and then I call them and these leads are already warm. So it makes it much, much easier. But if you are a beginner, I highly recommend that you start with cold calling. That is the best way to land a client for free. And here's a little mindset tip. It's a volume game. You just have to keep going, and you never know. Your next call might be your first $2,000 payment. So don't worry if you get rejected because 99% of the time you will get rejected, especially if you're a beginner and you suck at calling. But eventually a couple months in, you're going to start booking calls left and right. And a few of those people are going to pay you $2,000, $3,000 every single month to run your ads. So don't give up. You're probably wondering, how do you actually find prospects and potential clients? Well, there's 2 very important tools. Number 1 is Yelp. Number 2 is Google. That's all you need. So let's say you're looking for people in the Tampa Bay area, right? And by the way, you don't actually have to target local businesses. You could target statewide or countrywide, doesn't matter. You can even look for businesses in other countries. But let's say you want to do car detailing, which I would say is the easiest beginner their niche just because it's really easy to deliver on results. And two, a lot of prospects actually turn into clients in this industry just because they're constantly looking for different ways to make money. So just like this, I looked up car detailing, and check this out. After you go through the sponsored posts, you're gonna see right here, all car detailing results near me in Tampa Bay, Florida. There's a bunch of leads. Let's say we do the first three just as an example. You can go right here and you'll see they all have a phone number. Now you could also do this in Google. So let's say you want to look up window washing in Tampa Bay area. Google is going to show you a bunch of businesses, and there you go, a bunch of leads. They all have their phone number. And then what I like to do is just go to Google Drive, make a little bit of a graph, and then I'll just put in business name, phone number, and then I'm going to put email just in case you want to do some email outreach or like follow-ups or something like that, and then area depending on the area. And then I'm going to make all of these a separate color. And the last thing I like to do is just make the text much bigger, and all I do is just go to, for example, this Yelp listing. I'll paste in the name, and then I'll paste in the phone number, and then I will paste in the email, and the last thing is the Tampa Bay area. After that, what I like to do is just make a little bit of a notes section, and whenever you call them, let's say they picked up, I would say pick up. Let's say they didn't pick up, I would say voicemail. And then let's say they did pick up and they're interested, and then they book a meeting with you, 2 days later, I would pretty much just say Tuesday 7 p.m. whatever it is, right? Just so you have notes and you keep track. And what you can do is actually the people that don't pick up, you can call them back a couple days later and try to reach them again. So that's how simple it is to just build a list. I literally got one prospect already right here, and I would just fill this up until I have at least 50 and just get to cold calling. Now, whenever you actually book this second meeting, let's talk about how you can actually close the client and turn them into a paying client. So now that you know how to find prospects and outreach and gets you leads, let's talk about closing, which gets you clients. And best of all, it gets you paid. Most beginners think that closing is insanely hard and you need some magic strategy to close. That's not true. Closing is all about problem solving. Here's the psychology aspect of it. Businesses do not care about ads. They care about revenue, they care about money, and they care about how their life is going to change working with you. They want more booked jobs, they want higher profits, and they want less stress. So your main focus is just to show them that if they hire you, you're going to actually get them more clients and put more money in their pocket. Now, what I like to do is build something called a pitch deck. Now, this is literally just a Google Slides presentation. You're going to make 5-6 pages just showing exactly what you're going to do for their business, exactly what kind of ads you're going to run. If you have past clients, you can show results of past clients, and at the end you're gonna have your pricing. But before I tell you about how to actually do your pricing and what kind of guarantees to give to your client, let's talk about the actual sales call and what you should be asking them. So the first thing you want to do is genuinely show interest in their business, and you could take some notes for yourself for your next potential call. Number one, ask them how long they've been running their shop, what their ideal client looks like, how many leads they want every single week or month, so that way you can actually use that as leverage to convince them, hey, I'll get you that many leads that you wanted. It's possible. Now, once you kind of warmed up with them, your buddy, you can get into the presentation. And again, it's all about problem solving. Figure out their pain points. What do they want to do less of, and what do they want to do more of? For example, you can ask them things like, what is your biggest struggle getting clients right now? Are you spending all day on your phone? Are you wasting time with leads that don't convert? And just let them rant. Eventually, you're going to ask them a question where they're just going to keep yapping. Just make sure that you're in control of the conversation, but the entire time you should be learning exactly what they want for their business. So whenever you pitch to them, you can solve all of those problems. And once you know their deepest desires and their deepest problems, for example, let's say they're not getting enough clients and they're spending too much time on the phone with time wasters, you show them the solution. You are the savior. You're going to fix their business. You're going to get them more leads, and you're going to make them more money, and they're barely going to have to do anything. Let's say they ranted for a while. You show them the presentation, and you could tell them eventually, that's exactly what I'm going to do for your business. It's funny that you say that because that's exactly what I'm trying to sell you here. Walk them through the process. Say something like, I know you're spending way too much time on the phone with these prospects that don't close. What my ad system is going to do, it's actually going to get you warm prospects. These are people that come from ads. These are people that are interested in your service. So you can take half as much time on the phone and close a double amount of clients. Or something like, we run targeted ads locally in your area to find people that are super interested in your service. And once you finally sell them the dream, they're super hyped, they want to work with you. This is the tricky part. You have to tell them the pricing. In order to actually tell them the pricing, you should have a guarantee. guarantee. A guarantee is super important. A guarantee can make or break having a client. Something like, we guarantee you 30 clients in the next 90 days or else we're gonna work for free. Now this might seem scary, but lead gen ads are actually super simple. It's very easy to deliver for a lot of clients, and 90% of the time you are gonna deliver. And whenever you show them that price, anywhere from $800 to $2,000, depending on what business you're working with, you can give them the guarantee to kind of carry the price on its back. And then you're gonna get objections, and you have to learn how to deal with objections. That's insanely important. If they say, oh, it's too expensive, or I don't know if I can do this right now, you know, my wife is gonna be mad, ask them, what is a client worth to you? Then they're gonna say, oh, it's worth around $1,000 per client. And then you're gonna say, my guarantee is that I'm gonna bring you 30 clients in the next 90 days. So that's $30,000 that I'm guaranteeing you. That service pays for itself like this. And every time you get an objection, write it down and give a different response and just see what works. Eventually, you're gonna get so good at objections that you won't even need that little notebook. Closing is just showing them that working with you is less risky than being in the current stagnant position that their business is already in. And by the way, you might be wondering, how do I structure a guarantee, or how do I even price my service? For lower ticket businesses, and by lower ticket I mean anywhere from $200, $300, $400 jobs, something like car detailing, something like window cleaning, you generally want to charge less money, so anywhere between $800 to $1,000 per month. And for higher ticket businesses like HVAC, fence construction, home remodeling, where every job is worth anywhere from $1,000 to like $10,000, you could charge them $1,000 to $2,000 every single month pretty comfortably. And once you get at my level, you can actually charge them $5,000 upfront for the first 3 months. Then you can go to a maintenance package where you're just charging $1,500 a month. And the reason I do this is because I like more money upfront. Now for the guarantee, this completely depends on every single industry. You can use ChatGPT to figure out what the average cost per lead is going to be for these businesses. And by the way, you do not pay for the ads, they pay for the ads. And the cost per lead is going to be the price that they're paying to get every single lead on Facebook. If the cost per lead is cheap, like $3, $2, $4, you're going to get them a bunch of leads and a lot of clients. This usually happens with lower ticket clients, so you can guarantee them more clients. And by the way, boys, if you do want to learn more about brand scaling, I have a free training down below. And if you do want to work with me one-on-one, you can apply using the link down below as well. All right, so let's actually go over how to set up your first ad campaign. So it's actually really simple. So this is a client of mine. Today we already got 2 leads for them, and we only spent, let's see, we spent $12 total. So the cost per lead is $6. This is another client of mine, and as you can see, we got them 65 leads, and it only cost us $5 per lead. We spent $333, and pretty much, if let's say they close only 10% of those people, so let's say it's 6.5, let's round it to 7. So 7 people got a PPF or wrap job, which minimum is $2,000. So we have generated them $14K with just $333 spent. So if we do the math right here, they pay us $2,000 per month, and they spent $333 on ad spend. There you go. They made 11.6K profit. So why would they not continue working with us? It would be stupid not to. So to actually create your first campaign, make sure you're in the campaign level. Click create leads right here. Continue manual leads campaign. That's very important. Now advantage campaign budget, you can leave this off, honestly. Then just name the campaign. I like to use my initials, and let's say this is test campaign, so I'll just put that. Then you want to do next, and then for each ad set I like to have one offer. So I'm offering, so let's say I have like a $25 discount for a new customer. I would make one ad set for that, and then if I have $50 off your first order for this, I would make a second ad set. So I would just name this set 1, and then you want to click instant form. That's really important. Then you pick Facebook page. You want to make sure dynamic creative is on. That's really important. I like to keep that on. It's a Facebook feature, and I'll explain what it does a little bit later. You could start off with a $20 a day budget. That's a great start. And then right here in the audience control, you can click edit, and then you can pick the specific location. So right now it's just set to United States, but you can just literally click anywhere. Let's say you are in, I don't know, Houston, Texas, right? Click drop a pin, boom, right in the middle of Houston. And then you could pick how big the radius is. Let's say 40 miles out of that pin. And then this obviously depends on what your client wants. So boom, that's right here. Let's say they cover 40-mile range. That's perfect. This is, the audience is 3.6 to 4.2 million people. So there's definitely people that are going to be interested in the services. And then after that, you could just click next. So once you're actually in the ad, just name the ad whatever you want. I just name it dynamic 1. So what you want to do now is actually just click select images or videos, whatever it is, you just select them. And this is exactly what a dynamic ad does. You can run multiple ads in one ad, or multiple creatives in one ad. And Facebook is going to test and put a little bit of money into this one, into this one, into this one, and into this one as well. And then it'll put most of the money into the one that performs the best. So you could do this manually and create 4 different ads, or you could just have one ad and put them all the creatives into that one ad. It just makes your life a little bit easier. So once you have that, and by the way, you can make the creatives in Canva, in Photoshop, in Figma. Canva and Figma are free tools, or you can get the company to actually do it for you and send you already done creatives like videos. That's what I usually do. So let's say we have a couple of videos in here as well. And then for the primary text and the headline, I just use ChatGPT. And by the way, these are example ads that I was telling you guys in the start of the video. This is how I get a lot of my clients, is by running ads. So what I would do is just go to ChatGPT, and what I would say is, hey, I'm making a Facebook ad. I need the copy, primary text, and headline. Give me 5 variations of each one. And then what I would do is just literally throw in the creatives of the ads, and so it kind of has a little bit context information. We are targeting Houston area. First, it's going to usually suck. As you can see, this suck. I would say make it more like a Facebook ad copy with spacing and emojis and high CTA. CTA just means call to action. So this is exactly how they should be structured. So primary text, Houston rap and PPF shop. Every missed call equals lost money. Our system works 24/7, blah, 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 right? So you can make this whatever you want that applies to your client. And then you just click add text option, and then you copy the next one just like this. So let's say you do all 5. I'm too lazy to do it right now, but I'll just put in 2. And then I like to also use the AI versions of them because it can't hurt. It's just more stuff that Facebook is going to test for you, and it's going to use the best one. So now let's throw in the headlines. 1 headline here. Let's do this one. 2 headlines here. And then again, I like to use the AI. I don't know why it's not loading right now. Okay, here you go. It loaded. And then boom, you're pretty much done. That's all you have to do. The last thing is actually the instant form. So an instant form is just pretty much the questionnaire that you want the potential client to fill out. So for me, again, this is I'm running ads to get more clients for myself, which is funny because I'm doing the exact same thing for me that I would be doing for them. Just like this, I just ask a couple questions. Are you looking to add more, paying clients? How many jobs could you handle? And who currently handles your sales? So you literally be doing this, but for your client, and you could just ask them, hey, what questions do you want to know before you get on a call? And then you just have a headline, a description. It's really simple. And all they do is just fill out the information. Once they fill out the information, you'll get the leads in the leads manager. And let me show you what that looks like real quick. If you go down here to lead center, you're going to see all the leads. So boom, as you can see right here, we have 4 leads, and as you could see, they filled out all the information, and there you go. That's as simple as it is to run ads. All right, boys, I hope you learned something today. Again, if you do want to work with me, click the link down below, and if you are just interested more about brand scaling in general, I do have a free training down below as well. Take care. Peace.